Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. It's that time again for another monthly reading, and this time we're going to be looking at each of your birthday months in terms of what will happen in December. For this month's reading, I've decided to use a very simple oracle card to accompany it. It's called the Mystic Journey Oracle, and it consists of a card with a single word. And let's see what it has to say that might accompany the readings that are to follow. I certainly hope you've been getting something positive out of the readings I've been doing this year. I'll continue on for a little while longer before I make a decision about whether or not to continue them. They haven't received a great deal of interest so far, but I'm extremely hopeful. And as Cash Peters would have it, just keep on. If it's your soul's journey, you'll get there. So that's where I'm going. All right, I'd like to welcome back those of you who have been following this series of sessions, and I hope that your colour readings for each month have had something of interest for you that's helped to guide you through that month. It has been a very tumultuous year across the world, and we're now coming to the close of it, and hopefully by the end of this upcoming month, we'll be back to some sort of normality for the new year for 2026. But for now, let's just look at December 2025. If you're new here, this is not the sort of reading that you would find in a tarot reading. This is done per month because we tend to resonate to our birth months regardless of our cultural backgrounds, and also because colours don't read quite the same as tarot cards do. But I hope you'll find it interesting enough to come back. Let's see, shall we? Let's now look at a reading for people born in the month of March for December 2025. And first, we'll grab an oracle card. Oops. And I'll just pop that top one down there. And we'll look at that later in the reading. And now a colour reading, please, for people born in the month of March to look at their December 2025. We begin with yellow on pink. We go to purple on orange, and then yellow on black, and the underlying energy is orange on orange. Now, the first thing we notice here is that orange appears 3 times. That means it's a major driver throughout the month. It appears as your underlying energy, both within and without the yourself, your experiences, and then also as the need or drive for what is happening throughout the majority of the month. As well as that, we have yellow both in the positions of being the action that you take in response to whatever the driver is underneath at the beginning of the month, and also with what you leave at the end of the month. Let's have a look at this in more detail. Orange on orange is out and out survival and social skills. This is a need, a drive to just get out there, get amongst it, live your best life, survive whatever life throws at you, and in the real world, do so by confronting it. Orange on orange is often associated with some sort of major calamity because it actually warns against being hasty. As we know with our traffic lights, orange is the one that says, careful. It doesn't say stop, but it doesn't say go either. It just simply says, wait, slow down, consider your options. And that's exactly what this combination has to do with throughout the entire month. Considering your options. What can you do? What do you need to do? And how do you go about doing that? Coming into the month, you have yellow on pink. Now, when pink appears as the driver internally, it means that you're feeling out of energy, out of sorts. Maybe you've been ill, maybe you just simply feel as though you are exhausted because whatever it is, your energy reserves are fairly low. And in the real world, what's happened as a result of those low energy reserves is that you've been doing a lot of study, a lot of hard grift in terms of learning new things. Maybe you've just been learning stuff. Maybe you've had examinations that you've had to study for. Either way, this combination has to do with being tired, but still mentally extremely, extremely active. Now, when we add the underlying energy to this, the yellow over orange suggests that there has been a bit of a crisis. You've been worried about, or very concerned about at least, what it is that you need to overcome. And in the real world, it's this learning of new stuff, remembering things. Yellow has to do not just with learning, but also with memory, digesting stuff. Are you able to remember what it is that you have learned? This is why I think it could have something to do with some sort of study. On the other hand, orange over pink is slightly different. The exhaustion comes through as, all right, I'll just give it one more try. I'll try again. I'm able to get over this. I know I'm tired, but I can still survive. Maybe you've been partying a little bit too much during this period, because certainly orange has to do with being very sociable. By the middle of the month, you have purple on orange. Now, purple and orange is generally what I see as a weight loss combination. It means you've gotten rid of some of the extra stuff in your life, whether that be actual physical weight or just the things around you. But certainly the orange internally is still that same drive as you have here, the drive to allow yourself to overcome some sort of calamity, some sort of crisis that you're feeling as though you need to survive, you need to step up and get over whatever the problem is. And in the real world, what you've done here is you've made some fairly major changes. Purple in the real world has to do with healing, but it also has to do with completely rearranging things within your life. So the urge has been there because you've needed to get over whatever it was in the past. And now what you've done is completely rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic, I suppose. And in that combination, you've managed to get rid of a whole lot of stuff that was extraneous to your life. You didn't need it, and now it is on the way out. If we cross these over, purple on orange gives us exactly the same as we have here, and orange on orange gives us exactly the same as we have here. So by the middle of the month, your underlying energy and what you are doing are pretty much in tune. There is a crisis that you've had to face, and you're facing that by making major changes in your life. And with any luck, those changes will be very good for you. By the time we get to the end of the month, though, things have changed again. Whereas here you had yellow over pink, which is being vulnerable and over almost having indigestion from too much information. Now you've managed to withdraw. Maybe you, by the end of the month, you've got to the stage where you don't have to bother about any of this stuff anymore. Or maybe it's just been so overwhelming that you have voluntarily withdrawn. Certainly, black in the interior means an ability to get away from those things that have impinged upon your actual life and spending time within yourself, time alone, time out. Maybe this stuff has made you ill. Maybe you've overindulged. But by the end of the month, certainly there is this time out that in the real world continues to have this yellow influence, this indigestion, this having too much information coming at you. You're absorbing it, yes, and in absorbing it, you're learning a lot, but black isn't necessarily memory. Black is just simply taking things in. And if that's the need, then what you're doing is your experiences are simply being absorbed into your mind without necessarily doing anything else with them. Black is very loath to get involved in anything. And when it's the need or the driver internally, it means you really don't want to be involved with anything, even though in the real world, there's lots of excitement, lots of energy floating around that's causing all sorts of potential for you to change things in your life because of this new information that's coming in. Yellow on orange gives us the same reading as we had here at the beginning of the month. A crisis that is something that you need to survive, and in the real world, you're doing so by remembering how you did it last time, your memory, your learning abilities, your ability to digest information is well and truly activated. On the other hand, the orange over black brings us to a slightly different reading. Again, there is this need to withdraw, this need to isolate yourself, to get away from things. And in the real world, there is a push towards actually causing either yourself to be forced to go out and socialize with people, or else it is a case of you're standing up to people and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Orange is the ability to say no, and to say it with a certain amount of assertiveness. So altogether, what we have here is a fairly hectic looking month of December. By the end of December, of course, that experiences will have died down for you, at least internally, but externally, there's still an awful lot of energy around, and that energy is causing you some degree of trepidation as you head into January, because there's just been too much information, it's too overwhelming, and you've had to make too many major changes that might or might not actually make you feel good about yourself. Either way, you are withdrawing by the end of the month. So let's have a look at the colours that are missing. You see what they have to say about the subject. You have black, but there's no white. There's no red. You have yellow. There's no green. There's no blue. You don't have any brown, but you do have orange. There's no grey. You have purple. You have pink, but there is no cyan. So in effect, your December involves only 5 sets of skills. Now, there's nothing wrong with only having 5 sets of skills, but it does limit what you are able to do and how you are able to react and respond to the issues that you are faced with. What is missing here are these 7 colours. White, the ability to be curious and open to any new adventures. Red, the ability to take charge and be responsible for yourself. Green, the ability to head off in a new direction, find new pathways and also new values. Blue, the ability to nurture yourself, but also to be organized and to do your duty by yourself and by those around you. Brown, the ability to create the skills and the learning experiences that enable you to not only create goals, but also to begin to work towards them. Grey, the ability to find the middle road between the extremes of whatever it is that you are faced with. And cyan, the ability to find that peace and harmony and simply the sort of acceptance that comes with everything is wonderful in your world. So looking at those 7 colours, which is the most appealing? And then which is the least appealing colour? Pop those into your life and just be aware of them throughout the month of December. And as you do so, you'll find that your journey from a state of feeling vulnerable to a state of, all right, I've had enough, I'm just going to withdraw, I'm not playing this game anymore, will become a lot easier than just those 5 skills will suggest. So let's now look at the oracle and see what it has to say. It says bloom. Now that's an interesting card. A bloom is something that grows and becomes beautiful. Yellow is a colour that's associated with beauty. Yellow hair is considered more beautiful than any other. Yellow flowers are extremely attractive to birds and also insects. Bearing in mind that black and yellow as a combination is a rather dangerous one. Nevertheless, blooming allows you to show your best side, your best self. And maybe that's what this month is all about. Well, the reading has been fairly short this time. That's partially because of the time constraints. December is a very busy month for most of us, so I don't have much time, and I dare say neither do you. And I dare say that a shorter reading would be far more beneficial to you. But I do have an offer on the table. If you've gotten this far and you've actually listened to the entirety of the reading and you feel it has something in it for you, why not contact me on my Gmail account, which is in the description. I'll also put it in the show notes. And in doing so, take up an offer of a free personal reading that we can do either via Zoom, such as a discussion here and now, or I can do it anonymously for you. But you need to ask for it. The decision is yours. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have any questions or any comments to make, those would be appreciated down in the comments section, which tends to be fairly bare most of the time. Anyway, may you have a wonderful December. May the colours that you choose work for you in a way that enables you to feel at peace and in harmony with the world and all around. And let's look forward to a 2026 that is a little less chaotic than this year has been. Until next time, bye.